Today I'm going to be solving quadratic equations using computing of squares. Begin by an example. If I have 2x squared plus 11x plus 6, this gives me 0. So by computing of squares, we ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. Therefore, let's divide throughout. So by 2, by 2, by 2, by 2. And therefore, this would remain as x squared plus 11 over 2x plus 3, which would be equals to 0. And so x squared plus 11 over 2x, take 3 beyond the equal sign, so we shall have something that would be equals to -3. We are going to be mostly depending on the coefficient of x in this case. So to make this side a perfect square, I'm going to get the coefficient of x divided by 2 and square it to make this side a perfect square. X squared plus 11 all over 2x plus 11 divided by 2 divided by 2 squared would be equals to -3 plus 11 divided by 2 divided by 2, so squared. So what you do is you add it on both sides independent of the sign that's here. You add always, even when there was a negative here, you would have added on this side and this side. X squared plus 11x all over 2 plus 11 all over 4. This is squared, which equals to, would have -3 plus, you're going to have 121 all over 16. And therefore, if we proceed with this, x squared plus 11x over 2 plus this is 121 all over 16 equals to, this is going to be I'm going to have -3 times 16 plus 121 all over 16. We are going to depend mostly now on this. Now, to prove that this side is a perfect square, a perfect square is when you have, for example, a plus b and multiplies itself. So this is what we call a perfect square. Now, let's try to form that here. And therefore, let's get two factors of 121 all over 16, such that if you multiply those two factors, they give us 121 all over 16, of which in this case I would have those factors as 11 out of 4 and 11 out of 4. So that we are going to replace 11 out of 2 by 11 out of 4 and 11 out of 4, but each of them will be having an x. And therefore, x squared plus 11 all over 2 all over 4 all over 4 x plus 11 out of 4 x plus 121 all over 16 would be equals to -48 plus 121 all over 16. And therefore, if you factorize here out, like x squared plus 11 out of 4 x, close this for easy factorization, plus 11 x all over 4 plus 121 all over 16, close this, would be equals to 73 all over 16. And therefore, if we proceed here, we are going to have x into x plus 11 all over 4 plus this plus we're going to have, this is going to be 11 all over 4 into, this is going to be x plus 11 out of 4, of which in this case I would have 73 all over 16. And therefore, if we proceed this side, so x plus 11 out of 4 plus this into x plus 11 out of 4 because this would be equals to 73 all over 16. And therefore, if we proceed with this, we know now here is where we form a perfect square, where we are going to have x plus 11 out of 4 squared equal to 73 all over 16. Therefore, now to eliminate the square, so we are going to come here, square root this side, which positive or minus, and on this side, square root this, be positive or minus. And therefore, we are going to have here, this will cancel with this, therefore, x plus 11 all over 4 would be equals to root of 73 all over 4 positive or minus. And so to get the value of x, know that x, which would be equals to positive or minus root of 73 all over 4, which would be minus 11 out of 4. So either x equals to positive root of 73 minus 11 all over 4, and x would be equals to negative 0.6140. For the second value of x equals to negative root of 73 minus 11 all over 4. So this would be equals to a negative 4.886. And so this is how we go with computing squares when we are solving quadratic equations. And so this is my answer when I've used computing of squares. Now let's try another example. For example 2, we would have 5x squared plus 3x minus 7 be equals to 0. So to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1, so we're going to divide through by 5, x squared plus 3 all over 5, x minus 7 over 5, which would be equals to 0. So here we're going to have, you could even divide this by 5, but still you get 0. So x squared plus 3x divided by 5 would be equals to 7 divided by 5. And so depending on the coefficient of x, we are going to make this side a perfect square. So x squared plus 3 divided by 5 x. Now the sign that's here, we don't depend on it, and therefore we just add. So we're going to have 5 divide this by 2 and square it. So what the result that you get from here would be equals to 7 divided by 5. Now even this side you just add, therefore we are going to have 3 all over 10, but this would be squared, and therefore we're going to have x. We know that when we resolve this, we're going to end up with, now that's when now the sign comes back, but in this step we don't care about the sign. But now if you're writing this final step, that's when we bring back the sign. Therefore we're going to have here, this is going to be 3 all over 10, but the whole of this would be squared, so this would be equals to, we are going to have 7 divided by 5 plus 9 all over 100, and so this would be x plus 3 all over 10 squared, which would be equals to, we are going to have here, we're going to get 20 times 7 is 140 plus 9 all over 100, and so this would be equals to x plus 3 all over 10 squared, which would be equals to, this would be having 149 divided by 100. Now to eliminate the square, I would square root this side, positive or minus, square root also this side, positive or minus, and therefore I'm going to come here and say this is x plus 3 over 10, because this goes with this, and therefore I'm going to have, this is going to be positive or minus root of 149 divided by 10, and so we are going to have something that's going to be, so for x would be equals to positive or minus root of 149 minus 3 all over 10. Now let's get the values of x. Either x would be equals to positive root of 149 minus 3 all over 10, which would be equals to 0.920 Now for the or part, x would be equals to negative root of 149 minus 3 all over 10, and this would be equals to, this would be negative 1.520 as the value of x. So let's try also another example. If we have x squared minus 6x minus 16, this would be equals to 0, and therefore we are going to have, we have to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1, and therefore, which is okay in this case, so x squared minus 6x would be equals to 16, and so depending on the coefficient of x, so x squared minus 6x plus 6 divided by 2, now square this, would be equals to, we're going to have 16 also plus what we get here, so this is going to be plus, this is 3 squared, and so this would be x minus 3 in this case, and this would be squared. Now this is when you bring back the sign that's here, but when you're working out this step, you don't depend on the sign, so you just add throughout, but when you're reaching this step, that's when you bring back that, so that, and this would be equals to, would have 16 plus 9, and therefore this would be x minus 3 squared, which would be equals to 25. Now to eliminate the square, root this side, and then this would put positive minus, therefore x minus 3 would be equals to positive or minus 5, And for the value of x would be equals to positive or minus 5 plus 3. X would be equals to positive 5 plus 3, which would be equals to 8, or x would be equals to negative 5 plus 3, which would be equals to, we are going to have negative 2 in this case. So these are the values of x. Okay, now let's try also a different example. If I have 5x squared minus 6x minus 2, and this is equals to 0. So we have to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. So all over 5x squared minus 6 divided by 5x minus 2 divided by 5 is equals to 0. And so x squared minus 6x divided by 5, this would be equals to 2 divided by 5. And so this would be x squared minus 6 divided by 5x plus 6 divided by 10, but this would be squared, so b equals to all over 5 plus 36 divided by 100. And so this would be x minus 6 out of 10 squared, which would be equals to, we are going to have here, this is 40 plus 36 all over 100. So x minus 6 all over 10 squared would be equals to 76 divided by 100. So square root this side, positive minus, square root this side, positive minus. Therefore we're going to have x minus 6 divided by 10, which would be equals to positive or minus root of 76 divided by 10. And so x would be equals to, would have positive or minus root of 76 plus 6 all over 10. And so x would be equals to positive root of 76 plus 6 divided by 10 equals to 1.4718, or x would be equals to negative root of 76 plus 6 divided by 10, negative 0.2718, and this would be the values of x in this case. This is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.